Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight, unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, thirst trap,
Thirst trap, thirst trap, thirst trap, thirst trap.
Let me see you. Yeah, I see you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mondale Robinson, Mayor of Enfield, North Carolina, and 1/3 of the Peanut Squad. Yeah, when you put me in the middle, I'm going to run with it. I'm doing the introduction tonight. To my left is no other than Ben, B, Big Head, Squirrel Gang Dixon. To my right is Sinbad, Stole Your Girl, Marcus. What up, fellas?
Hey man, what's up with your 1990 connection, internet connection?
Man, I'm in the country. I'm in the country, and I'm on my phone.
There it is.
Monday,
But
your camera look like stop motion. Like,
hey, shout out to Infinite Content for the money already. We appreciate that. That's important.
Yeah.
That's how we stay on air. We appreciate that.
It is lots to talk about. Brandon Hayes, good to see everybody in the chat room. Nat A in the chat room.
Everybody in the chat.
yeah,
Put up them squirrels and them acorns.
I missed y'all a couple weeks. Everybody put some squirrels and some super chats. Where the love at? Let's go.
Yeah,
Thank you,
y'all.
It has. It's been a minute. How everybody doing, man? Marcus, how you doing, man? I almost didn't recognize you without the high top, man.
Hey, man, listen, dog. I'm going adultish right now. Like I'm adulting. Nah, man. I decided to go for a different look. Plus, I want to grow my afro out. So you got to like reset to start again. So that's what I decided to do.
Must be nice to have options of what to do with your hair.
While I got it, I'm going to.
Man, you got options too, man.
I barely got options down here. I ain't got no options up here. What's adulting like this week, man? What's because that hit to the core when you said that adulting is not fun.
Hey, listen, man. Listen. First off, it's paying bills. Second off, it's like I'm proud of myself every time my mortgage is paid. And maybe in this economy and in this society, I'm blessed enough to own my own home, and I'm not underselling that, and I want everybody watching to attempt home ownership if you can afford it, right? I wish this economy would be a little bit not 2007, 2008 type ownership, but more so like just a feasible home ownership. But what does that mean? That means that we have to have an economy that pays people a living wage.
That's right.
I think the credit score and the credit industry should be burned down, right? I think that and we all know the historical connotations of the racism and how credit score started. And if you don't know, then the whole reason why Americans have credit right now, have a credit score, is because Black people had to be stopped in the late 80s. And mid 80s, late 80s, and that's why they implemented it. But paying your so I want everybody, whenever you pay your phone bill, right? Whenever you pay your light bill, whenever you pay your cell phone bill, whenever you pay your rent, your mortgage, your car note, be very proud of yourself, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, we live in a society right now where people don't want you to thrive. The powers that be want you to suffer. Please believe me, right? Shout out Tweety. for being able to, for having your house being paid off in full, man. But like, listen, it's a real thing. So, you know, I've been thinking about that, man. I've been having good vibrations, good energy. You know what I mean? The cannabis work is starting to pop off again for me. So I'm kind of happy about that. And
I'm about to talk to you about my prescription. Go on.
Yeah, right. That part. And then life is good, man. Life is building. Life is growth. You know what I mean? Having a good time. I missed y'all boys. I missed y'all boys
last week. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm happy that all three of us are back.
Absolutely. Mayor Mundell, now you say you out in the sticks, man?
Yeah, you know, I can't really share my location like that for obvious reasons. But I hope that the signal got better because I just connected to Wi-Fi.
Okay. It is a little better. Yeah, it is for sure.
So it's good to be back with y'all. Marcus, I see you brought Shan back. Congratulations, that. I don't know how you brought Shan back. Shan, welcome back to the Squirrel Game.
Shan been coming.
I ain't seen Shan. I figured when I get 2-3 messages from Shan in a row, Marcus then send her a text message or something. I know how that works. I know. Hey, listen.
Oh wow.
Listen, I know how that works, Shan. Don't tell everybody that's your crush.
Oh my. We on 10 tonight already. Let's go. But where we start? What's because there, like somebody said in the chat.
Pause. There's gonna be plenty of opportunities for me to get because there's a assassin that lives with Mondale, and I can get him hurt. So I suggest you stop before I
Marcus.
start.
Marcus,
I suggest you stop.
I'm joking. I'm joking. My wife don't got no sense of humor, so she can't joke like we can joke. I'm sorry.
Right. Is that sincere?
Hey, hey, Marcus, you see how quick he turned? You see how quick he shut that down?
Bro, stop, bro.
Hey,
bring it to an end.
What was that in the chat room? Mondale looks like a chocolate sugar bell.
What? Wait, where's this at?
What's going on with my microphone? Marcus, I'm not gonna do that with you, man. You're gonna get me in trouble, though. My wife does not play.
Hey, man. Okay, we good.
Man. Marcus said, "Don't start no mess. Won't be no mess, man." Shoot. All right. So
listen, let's get serious.
Where? Because where do you even start with the last 2 weeks since we've been away?
Yeah, man. And honestly, guys, I think we start with the last 2 weeks. Let's be clear. Everything that they called us conspiracy theorists, or everybody every black, I'm only talking to black men right now. Every black man that said what we were saying about Donald Trump's second presidency,
that part
was BS. Every black man that said they would never vote for Kamala because of something she did when she was in an AG that didn't really happen.
Mm-hmm.
Every black man that told me Project 2025 wasn't real. Every black man that said we were being extremists and we were alarmists and lying to people, capping. Where are you now when we watching U.S. citizens be deported? And people might be like, well, Mundell, that's an extreme exaggeration because a U.S. citizen has not been deported. But there are more than one types of deportation. There's the actual deportation when you're already been sent out the country, and then there's the real or the process to deport. And we see that already when we saw 2 American citizens, 2 lawyers that work with immigrants on their cases, one in Boston and one in Michigan, both get letters to self-deport. Self-deport. And they can be like, oh, that was a mistake because we're American citizens. Or we can match it with Donald Trump's rhetoric in the White House, talking to another president when he didn't know the mic was still on, saying, hey, when we're done with the immigrants, then we're going to need you to build 5 more prisons so we can send criminals, American citizens that are criminals, to El Salvador. Here's the problem. People are saying, well, that's cool with me. I'm not a criminal. Wrong. Donald Trump's, wait, who made that black noise just then?
Man, you know what? I've been.
It was me. And it wasn't the smoke detector. It was my alarm system, man.
But see, here, I wasn't gonna mention nothing about it because you told me what it was before, but also I refuse to give in to that white supremacist interpretation of black households.
I'm going not listen. You know I'm the blackest person you know, but I ain't been to no black house. I ain't been in no black household in the hood, and I ain't heard that damn smoke detector going on. I hate white people, especially when I
Look,
gotta agree with them. I hate
look.
white racists, especially when I gotta. I don't hate white people. I hate white racists when I gotta agree with them. But I
Look,
done been in
man.
my mama house, my sister house, my cousin house, and they all got that black noise.
It's
Look,
gonna
man.
go all. It's gonna go all show. So I
Hey,
mean,
man, we got to put you off the show, man. You cannot come in here.
no.
Not
We're gonna
you. I'm talking about
authenticate
him
this show.
passing on his white supremacist talking point.
My alarm system is gonna authenticate the blackness of this show. I'll be damned if we stop. Let's continue. Beep.
So listen. So what I was saying was. Donald Trump's definition. Here's where we're gonna get messed up at. Donald Trump's definition of criminality is not people who break the law. It's
Right.
people who are not loyal to him.
That's right.
Donald Trump has no problem with you breaking America's law. You can't break Donald Trump's law. I mean, Donald Trump himself broke America's law, right?
That's right. That's
Donald
right.
Trump himself freed everybody who ran up in our Capitol on January 6th. That's not a problem for him. Might I remind y'all, because some of y'all don't know, 6 police officers are still dead.
Yeah.
They didn't wake up. They didn't re-wake up today. They still dead from what happened at the Capitol on January 6th because of what the people that Donald Trump let go. Donald Trump removed all histories of the crime related with Jared Kushner's dad. And now he's in his administration. Donald Trump himself sits in the White House with 34 felony convictions. So I'm telling people, you need to understand what the definition of criminality is. If you are not loyal to Donald Trump, if you're not loyal to Donald Trump, then you yourself are criminal to Donald Trump, which means
That's right.
that everybody that is black, other than white, and not super loyal to this Bama is on the watch list to be deported. And that is exactly what we was threatening against by not voting for Kamala Harris. So everybody that called us extremists and said we were lying, where are you now? Stand behind your Cheeto God.
You know what, man? I think they and if we're talking to black folks, they got real quiet. A lot of Donald Trump supporters, a lot of people who said that we were, like you said, exaggerating. They're quiet right now. And they're quiet right now. And here's the thing. I don't think they're quiet because they see all the wrong that Donald Trump is doing with immigrants, was doing with even with black farmers or any of those things. I think they're quiet right now because a lot of them, their portfolios got hit across the head over the last 2 weeks. A lot of them have lost their
crypto
job.
Negroes? You call them crypto Negroes?
The crypto Negroes. You got the you got a lot of them who have lost jobs because there's a lot of jobs that people are realizing, wait a minute, oh, my job was in the line of fire. And I'm not sure how they went through the entire election and heard him say what he was going to do and not realize that included their own jobs. But I see a lot of them who are quiet now because they can't say nothing. You cannot be a Donald Trump supporter and say much of anything about what he is doing because he is destroying not just America, generally speaking, he's destroying his own supporters. And so a lot of them have gotten real quiet. And I'm noticing all over the social media land, MAGA is not strong, not no more.
Let me say something real quick, guys. And this is, you both of y'all know I don't promote my YouTube channel. I don't do any promotion. But I think at this moment, I want to do something to see what this experiment looks like. Let's make this Clickbaity's most profitable night ever. But let's do it for a different reason. Let's do it for a funny reason. I just saw Infinite Content send a $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Let's see how many $5 super chats we can get throughout this show. It's going to be a long show, guys. Let's just keep them coming simply to see how many batteries we can buy Marcus for his smoke alarm. Come on, guys. Every $5 you send is a battery for Marcus smoke alarm. Let's see how many we can do tonight.
Yes.
And every time you send a battery out, let's see how many smoke alarms. Let's see how many times we can make sure. Because one battery is not enough, y'all. One $5 is not enough. Because
Look
guess
at
what? Hold on. Ben, get the doors. Somebody lock the doors. Lock the doors.
All right, Marvin Sapp. Look. But let me tell you something. In my house, you can ask my kid. It could be 5 o'clock. It could be 4 o'clock in the morning. If I hear a beep, I'm going to get my ladder because I need a ladder, and I'm going to change all them wherever.
I'm gonna tell y'all a secret, Marcus. I'm gonna tell you a secret that drove me crazy. I know you just moved back into your crib because you bought a new house because of what happened to your house, and you had some renovations done. So I'm harassing you, but One time I built a new house. Within a week of moving in that new house, that beeping sound happened. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out which one it was. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but we were doing clickbaity, and that beeping was happening for like 2 months, and I was so angry. Like I would try to count like the seconds between the beeps, so I could mute when I thought the beep was about to happen.
Is that
So
why you
right
go on mute
now,
so much, man?
yeah, listen, right now, this is the universe giving me the opportunity to harass one of y'all for that. So let's he said the Marcus Smoke Alarm Farm. We need to support the Marcus Smoke Alarm Farm by giving $5 every time you hear a beep. You
For
need to be sending a super
$5 a
chat.
Hold
day.
on, but see, here's the problem that I have with that. I don't trust you, Mondale, and I don't trust you, Ben. That money come in, and you know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get a used battery from these Negroes. So do
You
me a
not gonna get any batteries. It's gonna go to a producer for this
So
show.
if you really want to help the fund out, go over there to Marcus Fair Live.
I was saying,
Wow, Marcus.
listen, do not send it to my channel because I don't do no paperwork. Whatever comes in on my channel comes to my
Hold on,
channel. So y'all better.
we already went through a whole hell of a lot in the past for some S like
With
this
some
right
super
here.
chats.
So we don't need to even start that.
Matter of fact, I think ain't we live right now? We live on your channel. So y'all if y'all gonna send some money to Marcus and his battery fund, y'all better go over to that channel because it's coming to my
To be
fund.
clear,
It's going to my children milk fund.
to be clear, nobody don't think we're frauds. We are not trying to raise money for Marcus Battery. That was a joke. We are taking those super chats though, but it is not for a battery.
We
If you're
will
sending
take
funds for that, we're joking. Now,
Hey,
to
no,
get back
listen,
now,
I do
now
want
get back to it, Marcus.
I want to comment on the topic, and the scariest part about me is there's right now, considering the fact that the judicial system has no check.
That's right.
For the Trump administration's move. There's no armed force for the judicial process here in America. Therefore, a judge can't do anything. A judge can order something to happen, but a judge can't order another country to bring someone back to America. Mondo, you touched on a couple of points, and I just wanted to say something. I agree with you, brother. Again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Harris campaign, but when it comes down to the amount of folks that were giving credence to Trump, there's a lot of silence right now, right? And on top of the normal silence is eerily silent. I mean, from the eggs to China with their intensely beautiful trolling program that they're doing of America right now on TikTok, and also the tariff war. First off, I don't want to change the topic. We can get back to this, but are we crazy to try to get into it financially with China?
They own most of our debt, dog.
Here's the thing. This is not America 1950. Our economy cannot mess around with China. Not only do they have better technology than us right now, right, and on every front, right? The Chinese, I don't know if you saw, ISO speed. The Chinese have glasses that translate as we speak. Like they have glasses that translate so you can read what a person is saying to you. But more importantly, how they are trolling us right now. Just think about it. We are being made as Americans. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I'm not taking that one. I'm not taking that because I didn't vote for Trump. We are being made to look like complete idiots on the world stage. And if you think about it, from the work that China's doing in Mexico right now by building one of the biggest ports bought the biggest port and expanding on it, from the work that China's doing right now in Africa, there's not going to be many folks left that are any other color besides white and a couple European countries that America can go to when we're messing around with China. So here's the thing. Trump is going to make us all broke.
Yep.
That's it.
The dollar's going to be the Cuban peso.
Right. It's going to be the Cuban yen peso, right? At this point, right? That we got to go a little bit further than that. But here's the thing. It is the caucasity of this fake ego that the Republicans have, and they have gotten so far into their bubble of making America great again, and ooh, we got power, and ooh, we got a nuclear bomb or something, or ooh, we got carriers, right? Let me tell you something. Outkast had a lyric that I'm gonna always stick to, and it said, "They got some that'll blow out our back from where they stay at, no homo." But I mean, no Diddy. But here's what I'm saying. They got technology that we cannot rock with in general, across the board. So whatever Trump is doing is going to make Americans suffer, right? And you can lie all you want to. You can stun online. You can stun on Twitter. You can stun on your little X channel when you go live and stuff like that. But all those folks who were actively pushing Trump. Now, I'm not saying the folks that were like, I don't like Harris, but I'm damn sure not messing with Trump, right? I'm talking about the people who were the black folks who were pushing Trump. You dug your own grave, jackass.
Here's the thing, though, and I agree with every word you said. It's on purpose to me. To me, his assignment has been nothing more than to destroy the United States of America. His assignment isn't to make MAGA rich. His assignment isn't to do anything other than devastate the United States of America. Because if you look at his moves, let me say this also. I don't think that they're moving without a strategy. People are looking at this and saying, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing."
Hold on, Ben. Hold on, Pastor.
Mm-hmm.
You're moving too fast for the congregation. I ain't see no claps. I ain't see no hands. You need to repeat that last part.
His assignment is to destroy the United States of America. And he's moving according to that syllabus. Step by step, he is destroying the economy first. And he's doing it faster than anybody else could have ever imagined. He is right now, who was it? Morgan Stanley, one of these investment firms has projected that we are going to have zero economic growth this year for 2025. Right, where we were supposed to have at least 3% GDP growth, we are now slated, because of his decisions on tariffs and because of his foolishness, we're slated for 0% growth. We are getting ready to go into one of the deepest recessions that this country has had. It's going to make 2007, 2008 look like nothing. And what's worse is that he's not going to bail anything out. He's not going to sustain the dollar. He's not going to sustain the economy, because his job is to destroy the United States of America, because he doesn't work for us. He still owes a debt to the Russian mafia that he has been in bed with for the last 30 years. There's plenty of articles on it, plenty of documentaries on it. You can look it up.
Hey,
hold on. Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus.
On a personal note, both of you brothers, and most of Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap knows that I have an exquisite Michael Jordan game. I have hundreds of Jordans. And I am so upset that I just found out that I can get a pair of Jordans for $15 thanks to TikTok right now.
Hold on.
That I want to. Authenticate.
Marcus, you're stealing my thunder, dog.
I was bad.
No. Let me tell you what I'm telling you why you're stealing my thunder. I'm telling you why you're stealing my thunder. Because you're a loyalist to the brand, because you support basketball. You also support sneaker because you're a sneakerhead, and I get that, and I understand I understand who you are, and also what authenticity means to you. But people really don't understand what you just said. That is the cost plus profit for a pair of Jordans. The real cost plus 50% profit for a pair of Jordans is $15. Nike is paying Chinese or Vietnamese people $10 for every pair of Jordan. Everything else is pure profit. So when Americans keep saying, "Oh, if you get your shoes from Jordan, or if you get anything from China, it ain't gonna be the same quality as America," you ain't paid attention to any stickers in your house on anything you purchased in the last 30, 40 years. Because everything in your house,
that's right,
especially your clothes and shoes, are made somewhere in Asia. Let's be clear about that.
Yep.
You see the system.
Chinese households are not suffering from the fact that when we hear people say, "Oh, we're gonna raise the tariffs on China 145%," that's not everyday living for Chinese people. Chinese people can walk around the house and see everything never made in America. Nothing in their households came from this country. They're not buying American TVs. We don't make them anymore. They're not buying American rugs. They're not buying American furniture. We're no longer the furniture capital. Their soap, their toothpaste, it don't come from America. Everything in our household is Chinese made. And Americans are buying into this idea that he looks tough. He does not look tough. He looks stupid. He looks stupid. Here's the sad part about it. It don't matter what you call patriotism. Donald Trump will make white people eat it, and they will.
That's right.
In the same day, on the same moment they say something, he'll renege on them and make them eat it. Right? Not
The-
just to the people in his administration, but in general. Hold on, Mark. Let me finish real quick.
oh, go ahead.
Donald
I'm sorry.
Trump, Donald Trump, Ben, you said this, and it's people gotta hear me. Donald Trump made the American dollar or the bond back in the American economy less sexy than the
Yeah.
Greek bond. Last week, the Greek, at one point last week, the Greek bond was more profitable or a more secure bet buy than the bonds back in America. Do y'all remember what Greek economy was
Yeah.
a few years ago, right before
They
the
had to have their own
coronavirus?
bailout. Well, it was
Do you
so
remember
bad.
that?
It was so bad. Who refused to bail them out? It was
Everybody,
We covered this on
they members
Clickbaity.
of the EU, and people was like, "Nah,
yeah.
dog, we don't like Greek sausage that much." It was that bad. You understand what I'm saying? So here's my problem. Here's my problem. When you said they are not, you said this, and I tried to get you to repeat it, and you gave them the whole context. I just want to hear that one line again. They are not moving without strategy.
Oh yeah, no.
And
They are moving with strategy. Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how smart they are right in front of our eyes because we're only they're only seeming smart because the majority of Americans are so stupid.
Mhm.
This is what they did and what they're doing. Donald Trump woke up after he told all his people, we're gonna crash the market. And he did it. Took stocks way low, 2 days back to back, consecutive days of the worst drops ever. That makes when things drop to the worst, that means stocks are the cheapest. Right before he changed his mind on the move, he go on his social platform, not Twitter. He went to Truth Social, where who is a bunch of his followers, and he
Yep.
said something that he don't normally say. This is
Bye.
what he said. He said, "It is a wonderful time to buy." That's something he would normally say. Here's what he don't normally say. He never ends his post with DJT.
Mm.
DJT are not just Donald John Trump's initials.
It's
They're
a stock ticker.
also they're also his stock tag for his media company. And if you look at how his stock performed on April the 7th after 947, when he told people it's a wonderful time to buy, period, DJT, people went out and bought his stock. And then guess what he did? An hour or a couple hours later. He said, "Oh, I'm going to pause the tariffs for 90 days." And the stock market shot through the roof. So what we need to know is which
Who
people in government, which people in his Trump realms sold stock between April the 2nd and 9th when he crashed
that
the market, which ones right turn around at 947 after he put that tweet up or that truth poster up and bought and then sold it right before it leveled out. That's what I want to know. Which people in Congress, which people in his administration, that's what I want to know.
yeah.
And why is mainstream media not talking about that?
Because mainstream media sucks. They're not well. There's a couple things. One, they suck. I hate to quote Steve Bannon. He said they suck and they're lazy. And I would add on, they're complicit. Those that aren't lazy are complicit. They're part of this. You got Sinclair Media, who owns just about every local news station across the
Yep.
country. So, of
Yep.
course, they're not going to put any energy in it. And MSNBC only going to go so far in terms of like how many people watch it. So it doesn't matter. They could yell it as much as they want there in terms of the kind of saturation this type of controversy should have. It should be on the headline news of every newspaper. But of course, you got Jeff Bezos now. He owns the Washington Post. So we go on and on and on. We gonna see right out the bat that the reason we're not hearing about this is because they are in bed with it, and some of them probably shorted, right? And they're getting it on both sides, right? They short. There are those of them who shorted stock, and we want to see who shorted these stocks when the market fell. You short the stocks, you can make a killing. That's what happened in 2007. That's what happened in 2008. And on the other side, you got those people who followed his insider trading tip, because that's what this is. Told investors to buy on social media.
And just so people don't think you're some crackpot preacher from the South, we need to tell people that Donald Trump that day in the White House pointed to two people in his office He said this man made 2 billion today.
Yes,
He made 900 million today and laughed about it. And the
and
world didn't say
laughed
nothing
about
about
it.
it.
Listen,
And
Now,
there
Marcus,
needs.
let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Ben said mainstream media is complicit in it, right? Consider that and take us to the next topics. Answer that and respond to it, but also connect it to who Stephen A. Smith is with this
mm,
run for presidency.
Oh, you mean the. Well, first off, I ain't messing with the mouse. I ain't messing with the mouse at all. The mouse runs college football. The mouse runs a whole bunch of things. So I don't mess with the mouse too much, right? I actually here, even on this YouTube channel, I'm a little bit afraid of the mouse. The mouse will mess you up, right? Like, so we don't mess
I mean,
around
the
with the
mouse still
mouse.
ain't told us in
With,
60 years what is
with the,
goofy. So you
yeah,
might be
yeah,
right.
right. I don't mess with the mouse. But what I will say is that we need to ban all of governmental official trading, right? Like point
yes,
period, and they need to have a buffer for about 5 years for anyone, their family members, and also anyone themselves, also, and their companies. Really, they have to leave the boards of their companies for at least 5 years, if not just at least 2 years after they get out of office. This is a major problem. Yes, Disney, absolutely. The
Yes,
mouse,
Disney. Yes,
yeah, yeah,
Disney.
the,
The
the mouse.
mouse.
I do want to point one thing out, right? This is a bipartisan problem, right?
Mm,
Because
mm.
if we look at Nancy Pelosi, if we look at anyone who has been elected, right? I promise you, people made money in a bipartisan level across
hmm,
the board. So listen, these guys are in it for money, right? Now I think that at some point we need to go ahead and say that whatever the minimum wage is for these governmental officials needs to be the wage for the same folks that are elected. If we go that far, right? But even more so, the trading, right? Like you should not have a portfolio that you're accessible to
that's
while
right.
you're an
Say
elected
that,
official,
bro. Say
right?
that.
That's right.
And here's the thing: whether it's the president, whether it's people in the Senate, whether it's people in Congress, or even their employees, right? None of these people should be allowed to do trading whatsoever. If you have a trader account, a Robinhood account on your phone, you should be fined at least $1 million if you walk into the congressional building, right? Because this is the epicenter of politics. And also, at the same time, these folks are intentionally destroying the economy, tanking the economy. We don't have enough money to even place our bets, right? We can't place our bets at this point, right? I have a nice little Robinhood account, right? I'm not a poor man, but listen, I can't make $900 million in one day off of trading, right? Unless I get a penny stock. I get a Bitcoin stock for 0.0001 and it makes $5. Maybe I'll make a lot of money then. But how likely is that? Right? It doesn't happen for us, folks. So yeah, at the end of the day, we need to ban insider trading, right? We need to have a buffer of time, and also the president. That might be the only constitutional issue that might need to be in the Constitution, right? That one
I
right
mean, I
there,
don't even think that's a no-brainer, Marcus. I mean, like,
right?
honestly, though, the fact and people can say, "Oh, we shouldn't be doing both sidism." Yes, we should, because the Democrats had an opportunity when we controlled everything, every branch to ban insider trading too, and we didn't. So we need to say that, and I appreciate you pointing that out by calling out Nancy Pelosi, who happens to be one of the richest people in D.C. right now. What I'm saying though is we've never seen on our side of the aisle market manipulation like what we saw from Trump. Go ahead and
Oh,
respond.
absolutely,
Whew. Yeah.
absolutely not. The only thing is, you're just as complicit if you benefit from it, right?
Hmm.
Like, I hate to be like that, but like, if you don't call it out and you end up making a dime off of it, no matter what party you're in,
You
then you
just
are
as bad.
just as culpable as the president himself. And I'm very
Marcus, Marcus, tell Ben this is what it means to have hair.
Man.
Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead. You busy?
How you in the middle? You gonna interrupt the man's flow just to try to get a roast in?
oh
It-
yeah, and on Ben, he got a genetic condition. You gotta leave that man alone.
yeah, it's called short.
Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord.
Oh, he's a squirrel. This is a squirrel right there.
Oh, Ben is the score. Did you forget? Ben, you remember that night?
I
You remember?
remember that night, y'all
He
rusted
said,
ass.
I remember that night. We didn't do it. I just want to know the Squirrel Gang did that. They literally came up with the logo that night, bro. It was a COVID night. It was a cold COVID night. And we was all sitting in our houses, drinking way too much. Not Pastor Ben was not drinking too much.
Oh, no, I was drinking back then. Now we're gonna keep it 100.
Okay, keep it 100 then. Ben was one on our level.
Probably was high too. Let's go.
I don't know if people know our history. We are a true family, guys. Fell out, and fell back in love with each other and knew that we had to continue this podcast, not because of ego, not because of consistent conversations. Is Marcus all right?
Yeah, no, I think he's just
okay. Yeah, so but what people need people to know is our conversations don't flow like CNN. You're not gonna get a commercial break.
You're not gonna day, margarine. That was back in the day. I've been delivered.
Yeah. Oh, not OnlyFans, Ben. You got an OnlyFans though?
No. They say
I know.
Okay, I'm about to say, okay, come on, man.
The OnlyFans
you're covering too much ground for me. I can't keep up.
The OnlyFans I better be seeing is in the pew.
You know.
Come on now.
No. Hey, actually, when you talk about church, you can't say that about church.
I'm talking about the days when we used to rap.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord. Who rap?
Come on,
all of us.
All of us. On air, dog.
I never rapped on air.
Ben, we all freestyled on air, dog.
I intentionally didn't because I'm better than y'all, and I didn't want to embarrass you. I am though. I am. I'm just
spit 2 bars, Ben.
Huh? No.
Spit 2 bars.
I'm dropping a cut soon. So y'all it's coming.
I mean,
I got bars for days. I just don't.
I mean, you're a preacher, so I believe it.
I mean, I've been a musician and lyricist for years.
Yeah, I believe
it. Studio producer for years. Well, go ahead.
But listen, that people, Marcus, you miss people about the context of the mouse. So here's let me bring it in so you can then Marcus respond and then Ben jump in.
Marcus, I mean Mondale. Well, Marcus, this is a roller coaster. It's like we keeping up with Mondale tonight.
Yeah.
You want me to slow down? I'm going too fast for you,
Ben. No, I want you to take your. Don't forget to take your Adderall next time.
My man took his man tonight. I'm with him.
Go ahead. No, I'm enjoying it.
Can I say something to y'all? This is why you don't put me in the middle. Normally, when y'all in the middle, we go slow as y'all want to go. I need to get to all the topics.
He about to switch it.
Ben switched it. Ben switched it. Ben switched it.
Hey,
all right,
Marcus, you're in the driver's seat.
Mondale Ben, I do got something for y'all though.
All right, what's up?
Marcus in the driver's seat.
Real quick, I have a newfound addiction for boots on the ground. Whoa! I got my boots.
What are we doing tonight?
I know the dance.
Marcus.
The men don't carry fans. We supposed to have a bottle in our hand. See, that's
whoa!
I got my
boots on the ground. Crack. Ben, you got your fans? Where them fans at?
Well, first off,
where them fans at?
First off, them rodeos, YNs don't show up, right? So you can literally have a great time doing your little dance.
And nobody got a blick.
And nobody got a blick out there. Not yet, right? Not yet. But as soon as they figure out that there's a lot of young sisters that come in, I'm pretty sure they're gonna come and try to throw their guns.
Hey Marcus, every time they say where the fans at, they're gonna be like, blah, 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 blah. I want y'all to know that the fans think this is the funniest show ever. So when y'all put me in the driver's seat,
it is.
When y'all put me in the driver's seat, it ain't very strict like you guys, you librarians.
All right, you back in the driver's seat. What you got?
All right, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, please go look up Boots on the Ground dance and do something different.
Matter of fact, let me just pull it up.
Stop standing in the club looking at each other.
Wait. Are we gonna get the hold on? Are we gonna get the channel in trouble?
We might. Let me not pull it up.
Let's not pull it up.
You're right.
They're gonna ban the episode.
No,
but
wait.
It's a craze. I'm certain everybody in this chat.
You can put the dance up with no volume though.
That's true. Let me see if I can find.
Okay.
A little culture.
Yeah, or you could do the ones a little.
It's everywhere. Which one y'all?
No, you just put it in. It's gonna come up. Just don't.
All of them came. I'm saying all of them came up.
Yeah, choose any of them except for them white women.
I'm gonna get these black folks right here.
They were doing it without soul, and it was scary.
Who, the black folks? Not these black folks.
No, the white folk. And we still love our white fans, but y'all need to stay out of our line dances. Stick to the
Because
boot
we
scoop
stay out of
boogie.
y'all.
We don't do the boot scoop boogie. Y'all kill it.
No.
We love seeing y'all do that. You do not see black people doing that Irish
Oh man, I
foot
thought it was on the
tap,
screen.
river
I'm over here
dance.
watching by myself. Hang on.
Wait, what is going on here?
Oh, this is the whole
Ben,
thing.
Ben,
Ben put
This
the white girls on.
Ben, you put the white girls on, Ben.
man, these the black. We're
Interesting.
talking about. Can y'all not see
I
these
got
black
my
folks?
boots on
Now
the
they got a
ground.
white person in there.
Yeah. Can we get one with some dirt under their feet?
Okay, hang on. Let's see what else is.
Without a
Let's see what else
studio.
is
Without
there.
a studio.
Oh my goodness,
I
we
got
out of
that dance
pocket
floor
today. I
down.
love it.
Flap, flap, flap.
Here we go.
There you go. That's
Here you
You know
go.
this one gonna be
Bunch
funky.
of, there you go. You see the fans?
it.
Ah,
Ben, you can sneak a second in, can't you?
yeah, I can. Let's do it.
Cut it up. Cut it up.
Right there, y'all got it.
Crack,
That's it.
crack. You know what I'm saying? Marcus, that's it. I don't want to tell y'all this. I don't want to tell y'all this. I can do the dance, dog.
I can too.
I'm about to say we all better be able to do that. Then
Okay, cool.
You
Okay,
can't
cool.
go to a family reunion and not be able to do that one, man.
That's a fact. It is the new electric slide, dog.
That's right.
All right, so back to the news. Just to let y'all know, Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap has culture and also politics. The reason I asked Marcus, Ben, you see the roller coaster?
I'm seeing it.
The reason I asked Marcus to talk about what Ben was referring to about media being complicit and also Stephen A. Smith is because we watch what was supposed to be the grown folk news, which is Sunday night news. This is not CNN, MSNBC regular news. Sunday night, the news this week is supposed to be where like a Walter Cronkite style news. We saw ABC, which is owned by Disney, the mouse,
Right.
which also owns ESPN, which Stephen A. Smith works. Get this man primetime news time to say that he is the best candidate for the Democratic nominee for 2028. Marcus, tell him what the hell is wrong with that.
The problem is that Stephen A. Smith is not cultured enough when it comes down to the nuances of politics. Now, don't get me wrong; he's a very intelligent person. But
Is he?
wait, let me finish. Historically, Stephen A. Smith has been anti-common sense and hyper opinionated about a lot of issues dealing with the black community when it comes down to sports. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about sports, right? He's not as far as some of these brothers that are right leaning, right? He actually gives a lot of props to folks. But when it comes down to his thought process, I am very hyper concerned that he's going to do whatever the mouse tells him. You know why? Because he perpetuates in sports. He perpetuates whatever the mouse tells him to do. For instance, every single time that Ja Morant gets in trouble for blacka, right? And by the way, and I saw this point online from someone else, but I got to repeat this point. Why are we trying to hurt a 23-year-old, 24-year-old brother's career for throwing bombs, fake guns, when we have Republican congressmen sending out Christmas pictures with AR-15s
or political ads shooting pictures of AOC, dog.
But if somebody makes a gesture on in the NBA, we want to punish this person. But Stephen A. Smith, you can almost guarantee that whatever the establishment wants to do, he's going to do. Now, how come Marcus has a problem with that? Well, y'all know me. I hate the establishment with a keen sense. And if you think that Harris, or if you think that Biden, or if you think that Trump is going to be ran by some companies, where do you get a load of this guy right here?
That's right. That part.
Ben, can you put the point back up that someone made? I think it was Stephanie. I'm not sure. That said, don't buy into this.
Hold on.
I know, Marcus. I know. I want that point to stay on the screen.
Yeah, I got one problem.
The one that said it, don't buy into this, Ben.
Yeah,
leave that up there.
I got one problem. We don't say to anyone, shut up and dribble. I want to clarify that right now. We don't say stick to sports. We don't say that because black people are nuanced. People are nuanced, right? You can have a keen eye for sports and you can have a keen eye for politics, right? We've all gotten into arguments on this channel about sports in the past. We've gotten into conversations about all types of things, right? So we're not going to say shut up and dribble to anybody, right? That's wrong. That's damn near racist, and that's damn near putting somebody in the box. What my argument is control. who controls this guy? Who gave this guy the bag? Therefore, them folks that are in Orlando, Florida,
Yep,
are going to literally be running this country. And let me tell you something. Even though the relationship with Ron DeSantis was a very interesting one, and I did side with the mouse a lot of times when they went against Ron DeSantis, we do not want them anywhere near the White House.
yeah, yeah.
That's a fact. So, but let me tell you why I wanted that point to stay up there. And this is extremely important. Jennifer said, this is a distraction. Don't take it serious. I'll tell you a distraction because there's a difference between a distraction and then also what we should be worried about. AOC and Bernie Sanders right now is a distraction with these rallies. Getting 20,000 people to a rally in Utah seems big to people. It's something that we probably couldn't do. But there are 300 plus thousand registered Democrats in Utah. More than 20,000 of them are super voters, meaning they voted in every election they've been able to vote for. So we should know that everybody that showed up to that rally was probably most likely, almost certain, a super voter. Them raising money to pay millions of dollars for rallies, including support, including written venue, including et cetera, all the things that go into one of those rallies, is a waste when we can spend that money reaching voters. That's a distraction to me. This is not a distraction, and this is why it's not a distraction. Because he's not taken serious in Black culture, but Black culture is not taken serious in our politics. If it was, we wouldn't continue to pay the same people who fail us epically. And what I mean by that is I got a call last night, can't say her name. She has a show on satellite radio, and she was distraught because she had just got off the phone with two Democratic insiders, and they're seriously considering that Stephen A. Smith might be our best option.
Not with that line up. Not with that tape. Who did it, man? Tape, man.
I mean,
Listen,
I ain't even got no
hold on,
hands.
So
Mondale.
hold on, Marcus. Let me.
That's crazy.
Ben, not with that line, not with that take, for real. Because it's scary for a lot of reasons, but also it just shows you that these people still didn't learn from the Jay-Z Beyonce concert in 2016 that it don't matter how famous the Black man is, you're not gonna entertain the Black male vote out. It don't matter how street you think a Black man is with Lil Wayne and Kanye being afraid. Just because Kanye and Lil Wayne and those people show up to Donald Trump or for Donald Trump, don't mean they can move the Black male vote, because people don't understand or seem to continue to miss or choose not to understand that Black men don't take talking points from any famous figure.
That's right.
This is why Plies was hitting more home runs with Black men. This is why battle rappers resonate more than Jay-Z. This is why Lil Boosie has more pull with Black men than Jay-Z. And people might think that's crazy or ill set, but that just tells me you're disconnected from the Black community, the real Black community, not the bourgeoisie, those who sit and have space with the mouse and the folk, the CEOs in Orlando and other spaces. Here's my problem. In America, what we've seen to be true, the media will say things over and over again, and it'll become our reality. If we're not careful, Stephen A. Smith will become our reality in 2028. That's why it's so important. That's why it's not a distraction. We have something we need to defeat, and it's simple.
Yeah. Now, Stephen A. Smith, I think he's the problem. The only problem with Stephen A. Smith, in the sense of, to me, he's easily beatable. He's easily stoppable. I don't think in normal situations, Stephen A. Smith would be an issue for us to block. And here's why we should block him. Every reason that you all said. He's also an op. He has never been good for the Black community. I don't care what nobody says. He's never had the Black community's heart at interest. His interest at heart, right? He's always played this double role with Donald Trump. Let's be real. Like, he's talking in this clip. He's talking tough against the idea of Donald Trump running in 2028 a third time, talking about Constitution this, Constitution that. No. You played around with Donald Trump during this last election. You don't get to, you and Charlamagne the God, y'all don't get to turn around and be like super, you don't get to play the opposition when you were playing nice with him. Here's the only problem with Stephen A. Smith is Disney and the money that he has and the platform and the power that he gets through ABC because of Disney, through ESPN and the nonstop reach. If he actually had an operation behind him, he would be a problem because of his reach. But I don't think he's a problem in the sense of the Black community or really anyone who's paying attention. It would be us going up against a media powerhouse. We wouldn't
Ben,
be fighting Stephen A. Smith. We'd be fighting the whole media infrastructure.
no, but Ben, here's what you forgot. Also, Marcus, y'all think about this. They're not going to do what Joe Biden did. They're not going to make South Carolina first, so black people's voice won't be heard. So if the mouse, Marcus and Ben, if the mouse takes Stephen A. Smith out to Iowa first and feed those corn huskers, this is a better option than Donald Trump, who stole all your corn, who stole your billion metrics of feet of soybean from China. All those customers gone. Stephen A. Smith with all of Disney money is a better option, and he done won Iowa, and then whatever state they go to second. By the time he get to the South, he's already won 2 or 3 states, so he can afford to lose 2 or 3 states. Then he go into the Midwest. So we got a viable candidate and somebody that wouldn't be viable if we don't shut it down, simply
Right now.
because we believe, because you're absolutely right. To me, he's in the black culture. I'm not worried about the black culture.
Right.
Black people don't sell me out. If you look at the way we vote, black men are the most progressive men in this country. Black women are the most progressive women in this country. That's not my problem. My problem is what the rest of the world, what the rest of our allies do for us or do to us before we get our say.
Mondale, if I may, here's something that we need to point out. Of course, the Democratic establishment is considering Stephen A. Smith. He's black. He has a major company behind him, and he takes
money.
And he takes orders very, very well. Not only that, but then if you consider the classical style of campaigning in the year of our Lord 2024 and 2025, Stephen A. Smith will be almost a siren when it comes down to celebrity endorsements. He will have every single athlete. He will have every single actor. He will have every single person that the Democratic Party wants to show up on stage to sell you Negroes a dream and to sell you folks a dream. He will be the number one person that can attract all these folks. Why? He's done the interviews. Why? Some athletes just will endorse him just to have a good review of the game, right? Why? Because, even I don't know about LeBron. He might have a LeBron problem. But besides that, I think there will be a lot of other celebrities that will come to his defense. We have to understand something, right? We have to get by the thought process of our elections being purchased.
Boy, I thought that was a 40. I thought you were throwing back a 40 for a second there, man.
Listen. I want y'all to know that
he got one of them train worker bills.
Ben, I'm smart, dog. We ain't giving nobody no free advertisement. If they want to call Ben Dixon Network about some advertisement dollars, then I'll turn this label around. Until then, y'all should know I'm drinking American champagne. We'll just leave it at that.
Go ahead, Marcus. I didn't mean to cut you.
That's all right. He looked like just the sound of the men
working on a chain.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
As soon as the Democratic, this is the perfect way for the Democratic Party to continue the same thing, but change a couple of different talking points, and also the gender, and also the celebrity status, right? And also they have a machine that they can automatically. These guys think about it. They know that Disney. I mean, he's gonna mess around and be. Listen, he's gonna mess around and be on Disney Plus with his own show.
Yep.
During the presidential campaign, right? Yep. Not only ESPN will run commercials for him for free. For free. Yeah, we do bust out a song. So listen, as soon as we divorce ourselves from corporate politics, right? And Mondale, I wanted to, you said something. I think we should go into it, but I do want to say this right here. Dear Bernie, dear Jeff Weaver, dear whoever the hell is scheduling this stuff, I've been saying this. What is it, 2025 now? I've been saying this for literally 10 years now. 10 years, guys. 10 years. This is my anniversary. Matter of fact, this month, 10 years ago, I started working for Bernie Sanders.
Has it been that long, man? God,
10 years ago.
I had hair back then, matter of fact.
I started working for Bernie Sanders.
I had waves. I had dogs back then. Go
ahead. And here's what I'm going to say. You guys are still throwing rallies, even though you have a Latina now. You guys are still throwing rallies in the whitest areas possible.
Come on,
And
Marcus. Thank you, brother.
and here's the thing. Me being I'm the first, like Mondale, you've done this, but like I'm the first. When it comes to these guys, I'm the first person in America that said, please, 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 please. Bo Z, your name is Bo. Shut up. Please. Please,
Shut all
please,
the way up.
please. Yeah. Please. Stop being so whitewashed. You know what you could have called? You could have called Teslin. You could have called Danny Glover. You could have called Marcus Farrell. You could have called even Nina or Killer Mike to set you up a nice little rally in Atlanta. Right?
Not Killer Mike.
Well,
Go ahead,
Mike
Mark.
do it. Yeah. Mike can
Yeah,
do
go
it.
ahead,
Right?
Marcus. Yeah.
He will do it, but
Yeah, Mike can do it. I don't care about the names. I'm talking
he's
about
just saying get it done.
get it
Yeah, he
done.
definitely gonna do it. He can do anything for Bernie. But
Right.
you should have stopped that, Nina. But go ahead.
No, I like Mike, and I ain't gonna like Mike's helped me out. So
I know. You love Mike. I know y'all family. I got it.
So what I'm saying is very simple, right? Like, why are we doing these things in places that are not going to win a progressive or primary, right? Like, I can't argue with neoliberals when you don't show up in places that neoliberals cook. Y'all ain't cooking down here, man. And all you gotta do is show some love. Listen. All you gotta do, Bernie. Let me tell you what to do. You go and rent out.
You're giving out free game.
No, you go and rent out 2,000 hookahs.
Marcus, they're never gonna pay. Marcus, they're never gonna. Hold on. I would not share that, Marcus.
Listen.
Marcus, I will not
They're
share.
gonna
I will
use
not
it
share
and
that
not pay
strategy.
you.
Exactly. They will not pay you. They'll just do it, and they'll call it the Turkey Fest. Don't do it.
I mean, listen. Hey, here's my thing. It's not even about pay, but you know what? You guys are right. But all I'm gonna say is 2,000 hookahs and a grass wall with some neon and some free mimosas. And guess what? At least your message will get out to people.
It's called the nightclub ambassador program. But listen,
Well,
go ahead,
actually,
Ben.
I know it sounds cheap, right? It sounds cheap, but it's
It
not,
doesn't sound
right?
cheap. But Ben, I want
it
Ben
is.
to respond to something. Go ahead, Marcus.
Because I'm gonna be the odd man out here. I'm still glad they're doing those rallies though. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Wait. Let me say this right here. There are no forget it. There are no voices out here, in my opinion. Ben, I agree. Like
both of y'all capping right now.
What I'm saying is, even to just galvanize and get the noise out and have some kind of, I think that's valuable. I think there's value in it. My only problem with the whole thing is y'all ain't doing it in the Black community. That's my only.
That's my problem. I hold that same. I want to keep 100. It actually kind of triggers me a little bit because I'm trying to identify what are the things that trigger. Like when it get into your blood and you kind of feel it, and you're like something ain't right. It bothers me that I ain't seeing like Black folks, Jasmine Crockett. I ain't seeing like Black folks in the audience, let alone the stage. Like that does bother me.
Did we forget who AOC became?
I'm not even that impressed to see AOC out there no more, right?
Exactly. So come
but
on, Ben.
all that said, we need everybody need to be doing it right now. Everybody need to be out there speaking as loudly and boldly.
I feel like I hear y'all. I feel like our problem is we protest in wrong moments. We lack strategy with our protest. And the protest that we're willing to do is performative. I feel like hearing both of you gentlemen, two highly erudite Black men, sit on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Please like and subscribe to Political Thirst Trap. But hearing y'all right now in this moment say that y'all are not upset about these.
I didn't say I would. I just
okay.
I said it.
You were triggered. It
triggers my blood. It triggers my Blackness to see how white it is. But I'm gonna tell you.
But you good to see they doing action.
You know when the churches for sinners, the hospitals for sick people. These rallies need to be for white folks who need to go and convert their cousins because their cousins.
Ben, there's no converting cousins.
They the very ones who voted for Donald Trump. All right.
Ben, so and I know you're a pastor.
Need to be done in those communities.
I know you're a pastor, and you're also trying to preserve your status as an American citizen. But let me say it to you this way. Let me say it to you a different way, because I don't want you deported. I don't want you deported. No, Donald Trump people are deporting everybody, including American citizens. So let me take the risk. This is how I'm gonna give you an analogy. All right. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. If you were Democrats, and I'm assuming we're all progressive in our politics. I don't need to assume that I know that. We
Yeah,
care about black people, and that's the most progressive thing you can do in this
you can
country.
do. That's right.
That's the most progressive thing you can do in this country. We love black people. Let me be clear. We love people, but we definitely love black people. So here's my problem. You're taking resources, spending them in Utah for the sake of a TV ad or what it's going to look like. Bernie Sanders, Marcus said something at the beginning of his statement that proved my point. Y'all been doing these big white folk, all white folk rallies for damn near 15 years at this point, 10 years, right? Like, come on, guys. How many more? You're going to brag about 30,000 white people pulling up on a boat? Didn't y'all do that in 2016, 2014, 2015?
1492.
Then 1492. Ben. Yo,
I'm just.
you just let me tell you the
I
shirt.
can't. You know what? And I'm if I
Marcus,
can't.
Ben
I
just created
can't.
a shirt.
This.
Ben just created a shirt. Bernie Sanders rallies are like 1492.
I didn't say that. Hold on.
You said that. I love that, bro. That's exactly my argument.
No, I ain't say that.
All
I
over
ain't say
again.
that. Hold on.
It's a bunch of white people
Hold
that
on.
pulled up to
Hold on. Hold
Jamestown
on.
and then think black people and brown people deserve to live. Give them smallpox, give them some blankets, tell them to walk west, put them in the field. They singing, they happy. No, Negro, they plotting on how to cut your head off.
Look,
So
man,
here's
the
what I'm
money part.
saying.
The money part, though, Mondale.
Go
I
ahead.
gotta
So
see the point. I can't say nothing about
here's
it.
the
You're
problem,
absolutely
though.
right.
Here's the problem. But they're raising money. They're right. They're raising money
They're
off of these
extracting
rallies.
resources.
They extract exactly, brother. That's
They're
my point.
extracting resources.
And that's my
So from
problem
that
with this. If
perspective,
they were
how
paying
much
for
do each of
these,
those? How much do each of those cost? Would you say
oh
like
my
a
God.
rally? That's
Oh my God. Like, so you think about renting out an entire like stadium, a
But listen,
stadium.
it's about $400,000 to $600,000 each.
Man, we talking about Secret Service, we talking about lead team, all
Yeah,
this craziness
yeah.
right now in this climate.
Hold on, Mondale. If I may, listen.
Bro, you know how many doors you can knock on a Mississippi fam?
You know what I'm thinking about is there's no evolution in this process, right? Like, and I hate to be like this, but to just sincerely hope that Americans finally get on board the Bernie train by saying sort of the same things and no evolution. Now, listen, there is some fair points to this, but the problem is geopolitically, actually, like the problem is if you situate yourself in the right way, the neoliberals are going to find their person eventually, right? They're going to find their person and they're going to run the same play, right? So what makes Bernie different, right, this time around? Is it because he has AOC, right? Or is it because of whatever the situation might be with Bernie, right? Like, what makes it different? See, my thing is this right here. Besides just having a Trump administration, which, by the way, we've ran this program before, right? We've seen this before, right? So my thing is this right here. Bernie, you know, I should send him a text message. I know he reads them. He doesn't respond, but I've seen red on my text messages to Bernie. My problem is this. My problem is this.
Wait. Marcus.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Let me make my point.
I want you to make your
you know
point.
he old Mondale. Don't let him forget his point,
Let
man.
me make my point.
I need you to write your point down because you just triggered me, Marcus. You just triggered me.
Hold on, wait. Let me just make my point, and then you can get into it. My point is this. At this point, and I've said this in articles that I know for a fact that Jeff, Bernie, Jane, everybody has read. They all read my stuff. Every time I say a word, I promise you they'll read it. My problem is this. At this point, for me personally, it's safe to say criminal justice reform. It's safe to say reparations. And here's why I say that. Because if Bernie gets 30,000 people in a room and he says, and it's time for Black Americans to finally get their just due for whatever, right? If he says that in front of a crowd like that, anybody walking out. Matter of fact, what's going to happen is he is going to indoctrinate these folks into black issues, right? Now, what happens then, though? Here's my thing. What happens then? And this is what I've been asking for. As a former black outreach director for his first campaign for president, here's what I've been asking for years. How come you can't do that? And then, listen, black folks in the South, when they hear you saying that to white people, you have a natural inclination for folks to actually start considering your platform, Bernie.
So
that means you actually have a tangible chance to win a presidential election or the next progressive to win a presidential election, right? And here's the thing. No one can prove me wrong because when you say it, just like I say all the time, when Medicare for all, when Bernie started screaming Medicare for all, it was polling at the same exact number that reparations was. But after Bernie Sanders went around the nation and said Medicare for all, Medicare for all, Medicare for all, Medicare for all,
He
Medicare
pushed
for
that.
all.
He pushed it in.
Guess what happened?
Yeah.
He didn't
went up.
Guys, hold on.
I'm just giving my viewpoint. And
I got you.
You
ain't wrong.
Yeah. He's wrong on a couple things, but what I'm gonna tell you what triggered me though, Marcus, and then I'll talk about what was wrong. What triggered me is that laugh you did was not a real laugh. Like my mom used to do that laugh. No. My mom used to get sprayed with water hose. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
My mom used to get sprayed with
the red message.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Excuse my language. I'm in front of a live audience, y'all. So my mom used to do that same laugh when she was telling stories about being sprayed with fire hose when she was 8, 9 years old. And I knew it wasn't her normal laugh. That was not Marcus.
Hold on, Monday.
Hold on. Let me get this.
I'm traumatized by that.
Yeah. I mean, because Marcus, I was there. Marcus, I was there. Marcus, hold on.
Traumatized me.
Yeah. So no. Let me be clear. It wasn't just him. It was the entire ethos and what they did, dog. And it wasn't just you. It was a couple black men that got sent out the blue in that moment from a few campaigns. And I remember what it was like to be in that space. And remember, their problem with Marcus is he said something about reparations. This is what the world is calling the most progressive candidate. And their problem with this guy who was going real hard for black people to get involved with this candidate is that he said something about reparations.
Okay. Yeah.
So when Marcus say he was left on red, that bothers me. Like as someone who was there before Twitter was Twitter, before there was a thing called Spaces. So this is what I'm talking about. That's what I mean by trigger.
Yeah.
I was there, dog. And that to me don't ring true progressive. Let me take it to the step further. By step further, I mean 2025 rallies. And this is my problem. Bernie does not get up there and say what Marcus said he could say. You know what he does do? He get up there with the same BS Zionist message. In California, in LA, yesterday, what did he do?
Had a Palestinian protester arrested.
He had a Palestinian protester arrested and said Israel has a right to defend herself. My God, more Palestinian kids have been killed than almost American soldiers in Vietnam. And we ain't talking about that. And he's still saying the same BS Zionist lie. Nobody. Nobody is more set to defend themselves than Israel. Go ahead, Ben.
I'm gonna go one step further. Then let me tell y'all what my real problem with Bernie is this time around. Bernie ain't the same. Bernie might be saying the same things, but what he is saying, if you ask me who the neoliberal pick is this time around, it's going to be Bernie Sanders. Not that I don't think that he's going to run because I think he's too old. No. Let me tell you why. Go ahead. Look at who's supporting him. Look at who's supporting him. He's getting all Midas Touch. They stream every one of his rallies. You think Midas Touch ain't part of the neoliberal establishment?
I think they're part of. They're trying to get that money, Ben, but they ain't gonna choose him.
Look. Well, no. What they are going to do is they're going to utilize him. He is being utilized right now in this moment. If you ask me, he's being utilized right now in this moment to galvanize something that is not sufficient enough for actual change. If you're going to ask me, I feel like he's being rolled out to give us something. It's kind of like Ezra Klein. Like I heard some stuff. I heard some stuff. I heard Ezra Klein saying that was like really, 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 really sharp. But then when I looked underneath the surface of it, I said, "Oh, this is neoliberalism evolving. This is them evolving and being able to communicate with more of a populist message without being actual populist." And I don't know to what extent Bernie actually realizes this is going on. Maybe I don't know. I don't know his real ethos the way y'all do. But I'm just seeing who's supporting him right now, and it don't really sit as well with me as I think it would.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that analogy because I didn't think about that, like the mainstreaming of Bernie Sanders and what it looks like
Yeah,
in 2025. And you should write that op-ed somewhere, Ben, because that's a powerful state. Like that's the mainstreaming of Bernie Sanders right now. But what I think is, I
I'm
think Marcus
triggered
said
right now.
something.
It really bothering me now. When
So
you
wait a
this
minute. So
conversation,
like
You know,
knowing Bernie though, like I will say this right here. Knowing Bernie, guys, all right, so just take all this with a grain of salt, but I got this clickbait. I gotta tell the truth. First off, we always talk about like me and you got into an argument just 2 weeks ago about the same crap. So I'm gonna repeat it, but I'm gonna repeat it a little differently, so it makes a little bit more sense. We like to get things done, right? It takes progress. It just, I mean, I'm like a fundamental change maker. Bernie was that 10 years ago.
that's right.
Right?
mm, mm.
But he might not be that right now. But I will say this right here. Bernie is a stubborn, ornery white man that believes fundamentally in what he believes in, right? So I hate to be like this, right? But if I look around the ethos of politics and I look at a 2028 campaign and I think to myself, all right, what is the next president going to try to do? Not do, at least attempt to do, especially after watching what Trump did. Then this is my plus one for Bernie. Bernie really believes in Medicare for all. That's like, there is no way in hell that Bernie Sanders wins a presidential election and not try to push Medicare for all, right? And then not a dumbed down version either. He's going to try to push Medicare for all. There is no way that he's not going to try to push like student forgiveness and free college, right? Now, is he going to push reparations? No. Right? Is he going to push like ending wars? No. Is he going to push for major gun control? Hell no.
Is he going to push for Palestine and Gaza?
Right? Is he going to push for Palestine? Right? So I don't know. But what I am going to say is, if we talk about progressive change, slow change, turning this country into a more progressive country, and he has that. He's a stubborn old white man, dude. He's a stubborn dude. I know him. He's like Wody, right? Like, come on, let's go for a walk. No, I'm not going nowhere. That's Wody. That's Bernie. I just compared Bernie Sanders to Wody. But if that's the case, then, and I look around the ethos and there's no one who has the same kind of momentum, same kind of money and talking points, I do have to take Bernie with a grain of salt. Now he's going to be 80, 90, whatever years old, right?
That's the part right there.
I mean, 7,150 years old.
Right, yeah. So I'm not taking away from that, but what I am going to say is like having a machine that can make money, right? Having someone who can run against a Stephen A. Smith in the primary, right? Having somebody who could having somebody who has stuck on progressive laurels their whole career. Now, will the establishment back that? I know for a fact. Like, first off, Breonna Greyjoy, she's not a Simone Sanders. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Bernie's gonna have to figure out who he's gonna surround himself by that's not as progressive talking as he's gonna need another Simone damn near. I hate to be like that, because that's what they want. That's what they want. They want sellout black folks. This is what the establishment wants. Sell out black folks, and Breonna's not one. They want people who just shut up and be quiet, and they also want to make sure that there's some big money interest behind you. Bernie's people power. I don't see much major donations coming from big corporations into his operation, and that right there alone makes him a little bit more better for me. Am I a Bernie sycophant? Nah, not anymore. I used to be. I'm not at all. But when it comes down to looking around the political ethos, I gotta get that man his props.
I appreciate that. Ben, can I say something from a 2010? It's not gonna be long, bro. It's not gonna be one of my normal rants. Just real quick, 3 points. Marcus said something, a few things, 3 points that were extremely important to point out that are problematic. You said he's stubborn, ornery, old white man.
Oh yeah.
That in itself is problematic. We saw that in Joe Biden, and it lost. We don't live in an environment where that space is a benefit anymore. It's too many others that are allowed to vote, that are legally registered to vote, and they just keep growing in their influence. Meaning Zers and millennials are something 42% something other than white. So they have more people of color, specifically black voters, coupled with those progressive white people, have more voices against the bullshit that was normal that we didn't have
Building my
voices to
blood
move.
pressure up.
The second one is you said he believes in what he believes in, and 10 years ago he would have been a front runner in progressive politics. All that does to me as a progressive is make me cry. I'm gonna tell you why. What that says to me is we are 35, 40 years removed from Jesse Jackson's campaign. Jesse Jackson's platform in 84 was more progressive than Bernie Sanders' campaign in 2020 because it included the right for Palestinians to have their own state and also for black reparations. And it went further on other things. So the idea that universal health care was put out forth as a progressive idea that made Bernie a progressive champion just tells me that the progressive movement, we have no new ideas since Jesse Jackson's platform. And
It
that's
was pretty
scary
good.
for me.
It was a hell of a platform, though. That's
It
the
was
thing.
it was an amazing platform. You're not
Yeah.
lying, Ben. You're
Yeah.
not lying. So just to finish out, if 10 years ago Bernie wasn't where Jesse Jackson was, a black man was in the 80s.
He really is a stubborn old white man.
Thank
Anyway,
you. Thank you.
hang on. Let me say this though. I'm gonna start where Tin Man is with this comment. Please don't cut our only hope off at the knees. Shaking my head. Let me say this. I started off this entire conversation this evening saying that I actually still, despite everything that we've said so far, I'm still glad to see the momentum, the energy, if nothing else, for the pushback, like for white folks to not be scared to fight MAGA. And I think there's a value add to what Bernie is doing in that regard. Is it worth the resources that he's extracting that Mark Mundell has pointed out? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth that, because we probably could do I know we could do a whole lot more with that money than some rallies. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. But let me say this, folks, Bernie's not running in 2028. No offense, Bernie might not be alive in 2028. He's up there with Joe Biden. These are men on their last legs. And I think this is the promise that the Democratic Party, the neoliberal wing, is counting on. They know they could use him for energy right now. They know they could use him for numbers. They know they can get a machine that's going to be ready to go. And if they can slowly convert that machine from the inside by throwing support his way, every time they go out, what do they say? Oh, we have so many new people. Guess who those new people are? Neoliberals. They are infiltrating Bernie Sanders' camp right now. And I'm saying this as a Bernie bro. Now, let me say the last thing I'm going to say. If it ain't black, it ain't right.
Hey, man.
Like that. If it ain't black centered this time around, you are not prepared to do what needs to be done for the United States of America. Full stop. If you ain't, it goes all the way to reparations, but it absolutely starts with every issue that's important to black people. Every black politician that's out there doing the damn thing right now, from Al Green to Jasmine Crockett to all of them, and then some. If it ain't black centered, y'all ain't learned your lesson yet, because what's driving this stuff? White supremacy.
He cooking.
So if he can't come on board to blackness after all this time, then he ain't our hope. He's a facade.
Listen. Listen. First off, Bernie needs to bring in his most progressive black person that supported him besides myself, and that is Nina Turner. Right? If you look at what Nina's saying online, if Nina ain't a part of that platform committee or whatever the hell, or just a national platform. My personal thing is very simple. I want a progressive that understands and lives black issues. I don't want no more.
I think that's what Ben was saying.
And I don't want nobody fronting on some progressive crap. I don't want no sneaky neoliberal. Ooh, I'm gonna support Israel, and let me take this APAC money on the side real quick. But let me sell you a dream. No, listen, I am sick of that. I like, when it comes down to the next presidential candidate, right? I am going against the neoliberal every single time. I don't care what they say. They're going to have to prove to me, not that they don't have to prove that they're a progressive. they have to prove to me that they're not a neoliberal.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Because if you're not addressing Black American issues, if you're not addressing American issues, if you don't say poverty next time, if you don't like, and this is not an anti-Harris thing, this is not an anti-Biden thing, this is a pro-Marcus thing. This is a pro-Rosetta, Dr. Rosetta Bobo thing down in Tallahassee, Florida. This is a pro-Batesville, Mississippi thing where my family and my ancestors are and buried. This is a pro-American thing where the white folks who actually go to work every single day and then they can't even afford to buy their little red racist truck. I'm even sad for them, right? I'm even upset for the American people because by the time the next election comes, guys, we're screwed. We're gonna be so poor. This country's gonna be so poor.
American dollar's gonna be the Cuban peso.
Huh?
The
American dollar's gonna be the Cuban peso.
And listen. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I'm
no. If you go one step further and unearth this thing, man. Let's be real. To all of my white friends in the audience, you got to see by now that 100% of what we're going through in this country is driven by laissez-faire economics, neoliberalism, right? And white supremacy. That's it. I'm going to say white supremacy drives it so much more because they're willing to lose their shirts. They're willing to. They're okay.
No, Ben.
Off of the stock market.
You can't say they. You're talking to our white friends. You have to say you are willing to lose your shirts.
I don't know how many people in my audience. I don't know white folks in my audience. How many of y'all are willing to lose your shirt for white supremacy?
No. But when they talk about black people in the context of blackness, they don't individualize us. They just talk about us as groups.
Oh, okay, you mean speaking the language that is spoken to us?
Speak the language that's spoken to us.
Y'all is hard for me, Mark. On Monday, I'm gonna see if I can do it. Y'all and y'all people. But no, for real.
I mean,
look at what's driving. Go ahead. I just go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. The only thing I want to say about our audience is like, and I want to be careful about this, right? Is like, man, I done caught our audience on my Twitter page saying some things that were educating me about the Black community, right? Like I was like, oh, okay, my bad. I got that. I got that wrong. But I get what you're saying. I don't think we need to repeat their I don't think they need to repeat their tactics.
I'm talking about we don't need to take energy. We don't need to spend energy to divert and say that we're not talking about all white people. That's what my point is.
Well, I'm just talking about white supremacy in general. Go ahead.
In general. And that is this right here. Every single policy that hurts white folks was started by racism and black folks.
Trying to hurt black people.
Everyone.
And if we go down that, if we go down that road at this juncture, there should not be a second heartbeat's hesitation of you supporting a black agenda.
So
white folk, hang on a minute. White folk, and this is inclusive of all white folk, progressives, allies, white supremacists, not all of y'all. If you don't see that white supremacy is the problem, therefore black policy is the solution, then you're not ready to beat neoliberalism. Period.
Come on, Bad Lefty. I see you. Put Bad Lefty comment on the screen.
Well, Lee Atwater.
Bad Lefty, I see you.
Which comment? This is the only one I see.
Yeah, that's right. That's it right there.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't just start with Lee Atwater. It started with the Bacon Rebellion. And Lee Atwater is a mother something. Gigi's about to get on me back here. I say, it's a mother something. But what I'm telling you though is, let's be clear. It started before then, well before then. Bacon Rebellion, that creation of black and white in general to demonize blackness is old as America, the ideal of America. So my problem is we have to take time off of this all black show to make sure our white audience understand that we're not talking about them. I don't feel comfortable doing that. That's what I was saying. That was my point. And if they understand who we are and who they are and how they show up, then they know they're not included in those who are being demonized on this show.
But let the point remain that I said, let the point linger. There should not be a single person in this country, black, white, or otherwise, who second guesses, stumbles, hymns and haws around a black agenda, because what's being done to America right now is a white agenda. And how's it working out for you?
And I'm going to say it again because I think that's right. But I also think, especially if you are white, if you feel some type of way about that, you got to sit down with yourself and do the
Yeah,
homework. You got to do the work that makes you understand why you feel the way you feel.
absolutely. Absolutely. But it's got to be, it's that's the line right there. I think, and I think this is what I'm feeling in the back of my heart whenever I see a Bernie rally. My heart is saying, my mind is saying, this is helpful against this current MAGA fascism to see this kind of energy. Now, my calculus, now that it's been updated for what you said, Mundell, now I'm like, I don't know how helpful it is. $600,000 a pop. That go a long way in knocking on doors in any city across this country, right? So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to withhold that. But what really bothers me is that I still think that there's too many people on the Democratic side of the aisle that don't understand the real rub right now, which is a clearly anti-black movement in this country. And if you're not willing to fight that head on with policy, then you are going to still get white supremacy, which is wait, and let me clarify that. Let me fix that. We don't have another chance. We right now, I don't even know we got time right now, right? They trying to suspend the Constitution right now. You know what I mean? But most certainly, you think if we get a neoliberal who is pandering and tiptoeing around white supremacy and trying to coddle white supremacy, you think MAGA ain't gonna come back with Hitler himself in 2032? You think we can play around? You think we could play around with neoliberalism and coddle white supremacy again after you see what these crackers are doing right now? Y'all out your mind.
You know what's interesting, man? I think about 2016, and I think about when
Saltines. I'm sorry, saltines.
I think about when he went to Morehouse, right? And when Bernie went to Morehouse, and
Jesus.
And I'm no, hold on, pause. I'm gonna say this right here. A lot of people get this. A lot of people get that rally confused. That was the blackest turnout that Bernie ever had, right? And there was a lot more black folks in that rally than people want to give him credit for. But I want to talk about something that happened that was different from every other time. That because I flew with him. I went around the country with him. What he did at that rally was. And I remember writing his notes. And it was like the only time where Bernie kind of looked at me and was like, bruh, what should you got some ideas for me here? And I was like, of course. Like, yeah, yes, I do. Because I heard bits and pieces of it, right? Especially if you consider the police violence that happened in 2016 and 2015, if you consider like just the economic recovery and all kinds of things. And I said, Bernie. And Bernie went on a 10-minute speech about police reform that I've never heard him do before, right? And the black kids in that room, they were feeling that, right? Whoa, stop it. Whoa.
Leave that coming up for a while.
Yeah.
Go
ahead,
Mike.
And the black kids in that room, they were feeling it. So what I'm saying is this right here, and it's not a Bernie thing, right? It's who is going to present themselves as the nominee for us? Who is going to be that person, right? Who is going to not make me feel like I have to go to a rap concert to support a presidential candidate or go to their rally? Who is going to make me feel like I have somebody who understands my issues? Who is going to make me feel like if I take them to my barbershop that's right across the street from Ebenezer Baptist Church, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. You know that little strip mall. You know the barbershop.
Yep.
Right.
Not that I go there, but yeah, I know it.
Right across the street.
We lost you, man.
Street from Ebenezer Baptist Church. Who can I feel comfortable if they were my homie and I said, hey, this guy's running for president? Who would I feel like would make me comfortable enough to go into that situation? And be able to laugh.
Flies for president.
Does it have to be
Hey, he know his policy though. Let me tell you something. That boy know his politics.
Say what you want to.
I was
People
listening to
forget
that
that
brother.
Plies don't really talk like that, and he has a college degree. And we were sitting in those cars recording those videos. He was creating consistent comfort for regular black men. He wasn't showing off Bentley head stickers or none of that. He was just having a black man conversation in the car, laughing and talk like they talk, reaching them. And the man was saying shit that was politically proper.
I mean, precise, not just proper, but precise. That brother got an analysis. Back to your point, though, Marcus. That yes, and absolutely yes. And I don't see that. So here's what I'm honestly seeing, and I feel like what is happening is that creeping feeling I got coming up my back has reached out and grabbed Bernie too. But what I've been seeing happening since Trump has come in, is I'm seeing the part of the Democratic Party that should be dead. That should be dead because they consistently lose, because they consistently are corporate.
My God.
I see them morphing and I see them galvanizing in this moment. And I don't see us as black folks having the resources.
Morphing into what though? Can you explain that more?
Morphing into something just slightly enough different, just different enough to say, oh, we're going to do it differently this time, but it's still going to ultimately be neoliberalism. And then if we do that, this country is we're already like, I can't even say we're going to be dead because damn it, they about to ship us over to the morgue. Like we they trying to resuscitate
no. This is an old burial before they had embalming fluid. They had us in the dirt with a bell on our fingers, waiting to see if we're gonna pull that bell. If we gonna ring that bell from the dirt, dog.
And when I see the people who are galvanizing power right now in the Democratic Party and they're moving and they're shifting, I mean, honestly, like, why is Joe Biden back on the road?
Why is that was my thinking when I saw Joe Biden speak, when I saw Obama speak, when I saw if you are terminated or terminal and politically terminal means you can't run for office anymore. Barack Obama is politically terminal. Joe Biden is politically terminal. Why are you speaking? Go do what George Bush did. George Bush
paint.
Go paint. That man learned how to paint beautifully. Go paint. Go remake yourself as an idiot who paints and don't speak. You chose to be president. Now you get to be quiet for the rest of your life. We don't want to hear what you got to say anymore. That's what it should be. After you are president, shut up. And Barack Obama especially shut up. You learn how to be black in a pool hall. At least go learn how to perfect the fucking shot behind your back. Trash boy. You said it. We didn't say that. These ain't my words. Y'all know this, Ben and Marcus. That man told us in a book that he thought only white people were going to read because he didn't know he was going to be president and that it was going to become national news, that he told the world that he learned how to be black in a pool hall when his white granddaddy took him there in Hawaii, which is one of the states with the least largest black population.
Well,
Ben, I'm going off and I'm coming right back on. Let me in the room.
All right,
So Ben, what I'm saying to you is here's my problem with all of the Democratic Party right now in this moment. We are one, those of us that are not a part of the establishment are giving too much credence to what they want because you're spotting something, and you pointed out with the Midas touch and all of these people who cursed Bernie Sanders in 2016. And I didn't curse Bernie Sanders. I was actually at an org. That raised $2 million for that dude. The first $2 million, right, Marcus? Or one of the first 2 million.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm an Elizabeth Warren Democrat, and I don't think people understand what that means. Someone who's I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd Democrat, right? So I think I'm far left and with book smarts. And I also don't buy into what the new trend is. To me, Bernie 2025 is the new trend. Bernie and the Bernie bros that run his campaign knew what it was to do a big rally. They know how to turn out people. They know how to turn on that mechanism because you know what they own, and it's what people ain't talking about. And I don't want to do this because it's gonna make a lot of people mad, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Marcus, you know this to be fact. Bernie Sanders and y'all team, after those campaigns, started a few $20 million organizations. Run for something or whatever the orgs were. All of these orgs.
Congress.
All that, exactly. And so what they doing now is all Bernie got to do is tap into all these other orgs that he ain't tapped into to do no organizing in the Black South and say, hey, we doing a rally out in Oregon. We're doing a rally in Utah. We're doing a rally in LA.
With the irony,
And the irony is,
and
and the
one of
irony
those
is,
orgs are black.
yeah, and the irony, exactly. Thank you,
Say
Mark.
that again, Marcus.
I mean,
Not one of those orgs were black orgs.
You would spend the most money on the reason why you don't lose an election. And you know what? There's a little personal thing with this because I did get blackballed after that campaign, and they weren't rocking with Marcus because you were right. Like, I mean, I'm not making this personal, but I was pushing reparations in 2015, and they did not like that. They did not like me bringing it up. And also, I sent one of those emails that I probably should have deleted. I just send all. What the hell are we doing? Emails, you had
the hell? You had the black. What's the opposite of caucasity? Is it black Cassidy?
Yeah.
No, the
unmitigated gall.
The negacity.
The negacity.
Well, would you say the Nagal?
The Nagal. I love that, Ben.
Nagal.
Another shirt. Ben made 2 shirts tonight.
I mean, but that's neither here nor there. To me, it would have been common sense. And don't get me wrong, Nina was in charge of our revolution, but Nina also had to have a board to answer to, right? When you're raising Bernie Sanders money and you know that your biggest problem is the South, and you know that, like, it's like the common sense of it all is not that common, right? And this is the piece where I think all the white brothers and sisters who support Bernie don't understand. Because y'all get high going to these rallies and y'all chilling and y'all got, it's warm and fuzzy and there's an artist on stage playing music and Bernie's and it's warm and it's cuddly and it's cute and it makes me feel very progressive and ain't no black people there. And hold on. And I used to think it was, when you're getting gaslit, sometimes you think shit is your fault, right? But that wasn't my fault. Right, I realized later on down the road how much money that these progressive organizations, and how much money that the campaign itself put into turning out half of Iowa.
Say it, bro. Say it, bro.
Put into turning
church,
out.
Ben preaching.
Put into turning out. Like, I found out how much money that they were doing in these communities, and I'm like, oh, so y'all think that Bernie just showing up in the South is gonna? Oh, wait a minute, y'all think that the same tools that you use to turn out the black community is going to be the same tools that you use that you get successful with in the white community, but you can use the same money and get the same numbers. And then even if you don't do it right twice,
the third time around,
you know what? The third time around, maybe start that our revolution in Atlanta. Maybe start that our revolution in Columbus.
Well, let them YNs call it something else. Let them YNs call it something else other than our revolution.
Yeah. Like, let them call it whatever they want to.
Let it call Outcast.
So
LLC.
But here's the thing though. What people don't understand, and Mondale, you understand it better than most politicos, is that all you gotta do is start anything in Atlanta. Anything. If you give me $1 million in Atlanta, I can have every black person at every Bernie rally and voting for Bernie every single time, over and over and over and over and over again, and it will spread because it's the cultural ethos of the South. How do these progressives? Is it bigger than Bernie?
Marcus, don't run from that point because we need to stay in Atlanta and a cultural ethos because it's important to talk about where it came from because that ethos is not that old. That ethos came from a black politician. His name was Maynard Jackson because before he became mayor. Right in 74, 99% of the contracts in a city that was 51% black were white people. 99% of the contracts for the city of Atlanta before Maynard were white.
Hold on, Mondale. I even got one more. Hey,
go ahead.
Clickbaity folks who are watching Clickbaity on Ben Dixon channel and also on Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap, and folks who are watching it on Marcus Farrell Live on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. And I have one of our trivia questions for tonight, and this trivia question is only
we do trivia questions.
No, wait, let me finish. And this trivia question is only for white people. White people who are watching Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap, we will give you a shout out on this channel if you answer this question right. Here's the question: Maynard Jackson, former mayor of Atlanta, Georgia. What is the largest thing that is named after Maynard Jackson?
Well, Marcus, I'm glad that you asked that.
Somebody in the comment section got to know that. Somebody in the comment section got to know that.
That question for me right now in the chat room. Let me see what you got. We can move on later on. I need to
We're not giving them Google time. You got to answer that question in 2 seconds, so we can move on.
You got to answer it within the next 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
the largest
no
airport, the most busiest airport in the world, is named after that man.
Hartsfield Jackson International Airport.
It's actually, Marcus, it's funny that you said that trivia. I like that trivia thing. You should do that often, because today they was literally just released the results that Atlanta is, as of today, the most busiest airport again in the world, beating out Dubai and then next Dallas, Fort Worth. So it's funny that you did that. But what I want people to understand is this is my problem with the Bernie ethos, bro. When they didn't get their way, they showed up like white men. Not the old. They didn't show up old and ornery. They just showed up old man. They just showed up white men and ornery. They left the party. Do y'all remember what happened when Bernie Bros became like Trumpers? That happened. When then Bernie and Marcus, I'm not talking about on your watch, but after 2016, 2024, they took the word of everybody else except for black people. And it was almost as if they was like, I'd be damned what Marcus got to say and what he was saying about reparations. So they took the next 4 years from 2016 to 2020 and spent all the money on trying to recruit the Latinos in Nevada. And guess what happened? They warned them overwhelmingly. But guess what they didn't do? They didn't have a relationship with black people in the South. So when they got to the South, they started saying stupid stuff trying to make us believe it. Joe Biden won because Clyburn told all the black people in the South to get in line. Joe Clyburn does not have the power to tell black people in his own district to get in line, let alone across the whole South. And this is what happens when you don't know who your base is. Because what we do know is black men are the most progressive men in this country. And had you spent a fraction of what you spent in Nevada and Mississippi, you could have changed the whole primary map. Nobody was considering Mississippi. You could have spent money in Mississippi and flipped that thing, and they would have been like, wait, what just happened? You could have spent money in Alabama.
Bernie could have flipped Mississippi with $10 million.
You know what I'm saying? Mississippi and Alabama, dog.
Yeah, like you don't even need a lot of money, which is confusing to me, because to all these progressive organizations on the goddamn planet, why haven't you?
The common denominator, man. Because this is what's because the common denominator is they don't want black power.
Hold it. Tell them what a common denominator is, and then tell them what it is again.
the common thread between every one of those organizations that you just mentioned, the common thread with a good majority of the Democratic Party, even though the Democratic Party is sustained by black people, the common thread through too many progressives, and their progressivism only goes so far, is the fact that there is an unquestioned fear of black organized power in this country. And I'm sorry, that's all it's time for right now. If y'all ain't about that, y'all not about victory.
The common denominator, the ninja numerator. Shout out to Big Boy. Hold on.
That's good. That's good.
That too is Atlanta culture.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by it, bro. I can't help it, even though it's Hateville. Atlanta's a suburb of Hateville. Guys, I do have to bring this up. Hey, family. Hey, family.
Hold on, say it again, Marcus.
Hey, family.
Hey, mother.
With the Clickbaity family. What's up? Hey. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, listen. We got to get into it because we haven't gotten into it. And I think, to me personally, if y'all know my politics, this is the most important issue of the day to me, and that's Carmelo Anthony.
Yes, I have him already.
Bro.
Yep, let's go.
If you already have something that you want to bring up, Ben, I just want to.
No, I have it on the screen. I'm ready to. I had it queued up for us to talk about.
All right, so listen, it's been a couple of days, but a young brother by the name of Carmelo Anthony was recently arrested, also bailed out due to the amazing work of Black Americans across the country to make sure that that brother got his bailout. But he was in a situation of self-protection where he was attacked by not one, but two white men, and ended up unaliving one of his attackers, who happened to be a white man. Now, conservative America is very, 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 very upset that this brother got away with it. these same folks that were really, really cool with George Zimmerman and Kyle Rittenhouse and all the other white murderers, and they were murderers, right? That went out looking for things. But this is a case of self-defense, right? And it's not even a case of stand your ground. This is a case of personal self-defense, but we can use the stand your ground laws to apply to this if you think about it. But this brother was accused of unaliving a person who attacked him. Recently today, yesterday, a brother who witnessed the whole situation explained thoroughly exactly what happened. Do you have that, Ben?
No, but I'll get it though. Go keep going.
Yeah. So what happened? This is a case, and I want to talk about the response of the two Americas. One America, right? Because you have to keep the same energy no matter what the color
energy
is. And the unfortunate part about it is that Black men have been so subjugated to being the instigators of violence, even when they're not, that we can not only get killed, but we're not even allowed to protect ourselves from a violent act against us to keep ourselves alive. Now, all the George Zimmerman fans of the world, and by the way, shout out to George Zimmerman. You're going broke, you bastard. Fuck you. Sorry, I had to say that one.
You don't need to say sorry for that,
Marcus. On that one, man.
Yeah,
not that one, brother.
You're going broke. And
I think Jesus agreed with you on that.
Karma knows everybody's address.
Talk about it.
And karma always taxes a 25% interest, you bastard. When it comes down to America, when it comes down to Marcus Farrell's policies, police accountability is one of my biggest things, but violence against Black men are definitely one of my things because I want to see my family alive. Shout out to Jonathan Farrell, my first cousin who was killed by Mecklenburg Police Department. We can't protect ourselves without the same people who gave props and raised money for Kyle Rittenhouse and George Zimmerman to not only get out of jail for free and he gets his gun back, but to live the life of luxury until they mess their money up. But when the same exact situation happens to a Black man where he's protecting himself, the culture of MAGA, the culture of racism, the culture of these BSers that literally try to preach righteousness when it comes down to a white man killing a Black man, they don't have Carmelo Anthony's back. No, they don't. He can't possibly be protecting himself. He has to be the instigator. Matter of fact, let's find out every single possible thing we can negative about this young star football player that was headed to somebody's college and had his life interrupted, not once, but twice. Once when he was attacked and had to defend himself, and twice by you dummies in the media. So let me be the first one to say, I protect you, I applaud you, and well done for protecting yourself, young brother.
I want to read
hold on, Ben. I want you to end it. Ben, I want you to end the show as a pastor and what God says about just and unjust. So let me go next, if you don't mind, brother.
No, go ahead.
But I want to point out something that I didn't realize was so powerful until you played that video. Can you please play that video again, Marcus? Ben.
Yeah, no, I saw it, and I think I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
How this Black man is holding his son's hand. Don't tell me we don't stand up for our boys.
Come on now.
Don't tell me we ain't there. You see that Black man? You see how he protected his boy? This ain't no game. They walking out free right here. Oh my God.
Hey man, I know it don't mean a lot to a lot of people, but that Black father looked just like my brother-in-law. And he looked like he could be anybody's daddy, anybody's cousin, anybody's uncle who going out here and say, what you ain't gonna do, you ain't gonna railroad my son just because some of you evil white folks on social media want to play a double standard, and you want an America where a white man can kill a black man who's begging for food on a train in New York. Jordan Neely. You want an America where Daniel Penny can kill Jordan Neely and call that self-defense, and a young black man can't defend himself against two attackers.
Did you find that? Did you find that?
I haven't found it. If somebody can help me with the link,
I'll try to find it.
All right, drop it in the chat. But what bothers me, and no, I ain't gonna say it bothers me, but I understand it. I see it, and God sees it. We all see it. We see the double standard. We understand they want to be free to kill us, and we not be able to even defend ourselves. You know how many unaccounted for black bodies that white folks have killed that are simply just getting away with it because that's what America wants to do. That's what America has a history of doing. If you can't kill a black person to get away with it, is it even America? But God forbid a black man defend himself against two attackers. And I wonder maybe it's because he used a knife. Maybe if he had pulled out an AR-15, maybe he had pulled that out, and then they would have said, okay, no, they wouldn't have, because they don't believe black folks can have guns. Ask the Black Panthers, right? And so at the end of the day, we're looking at a double standard that is so deeply entrenched in this nation that they are willing. You even had this one anyway, let me choose my words very carefully here. But you have them talking publicly about hanging this young black man on Twitter, and nobody's getting even so much as suspended or flagged or anything, right? That's what they want. They want the freedom to do to us whatever they want to do to us, and we can't do nothing in return. We can't even defend ourselves.
My problem. I'm sorry I lost my composure, but watching what's happening to this young man, who they try to paint as a thug, even though they know he was being bullied. They had this information before they even put out the picture of him with his gun. Even though those boys had guns and pictures as well, that they
That's
never
right.
got. They didn't put out that this guy was a 4.0 star athlete. They didn't put out the story that the witnesses said he was being bullied. They didn't put that out. They didn't put out the history of these boys harassing this young man. What almost broke me today was the amount of grown ass white people who I took the time to go down there feed, who bragged about donating to Cal Rittenhouse, who bragged about donating to the appeal campaign for Derek Chauvin. I literally went down these people's timeline thinking I would find something about them saying they support these people, but I found them donating to their campaigns, talking trash about the money that the black people raised for this young black boy. We don't have a right to be human and stand up for who and what's ours. White people don't have a right that black people don't have a right that white people are expected to adhere to or acknowledge. And every time we show them that we are beyond what they think they can make us, they're still willing to do and what they're trying to do to this young man. That's why watching his dad hold his hand that way has to be the most important and reassuring thing for that young black boy.
That's right. And I hope that brother know how many people are supporting him. And why do we support him?
We have to let him. We have to let him know.
Absolutely. The reason we support him is because, you know what? Everybody has a right to self-defense, and then their day in court, right? Let what y'all say, let the trial play itself out. Let it do what it do. They want him. They don't. Here's the thing. They did not even want this young brother to be able to bail out. That's what they're upset about.
Yes.
They did not want that young man to be able to meet bail. And they certainly did not want the United States of America to chip in and raise him that $400,000 like they raised Cal Rittenhouse $2 million. And so they want to break the ability of black people to transcend the barriers that they put on us anyway. Cash bail is one of the number one problems that black men face in this country. Its roots is racism. And so when they see this young man making bail, now they're attacking the black judge. Now they're going after the whole system. Now they're going after the Republican. Who is a Republican and voted for Trump.
Beyond that, they didn't go after the white judge who was sitting over Rittenhouse case, regardless of their politics. It's about race. Because their party affiliation is not This is why I laugh when people are like, oh, it's racist in the Democratic Party. You don't have to tell me about
Yes.
America. I was born
Come on.
here. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that acknowledgement, dog. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? That's like telling me I should leave North Carolina because there's racists in North Carolina too.
That's right.
Right? Like, I don't need you to tell me that. I know that. So what I'm trying to tell people is their politics is whiteness. That's what Malcolm was talking about. It don't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. If your ideology ain't black first, then you are problematic for what we need to be trying to accomplish.
Hey man, I got a message for Black America. I said it before and I'll say it again. You got a right to defend yourself.
Man.
Listen, and I don't care what anybody says to you. I don't care if somebody's trying to take your life and you are in the right to defend yourself. Don't worry about a Twitter post, worry about tomorrow.
That part, brother. Wow. Y'all made 4 or 5 t-shirts a day. We got a whole new wardrobe based off of y'all sayings. I appreciate that. Listen, they in Texas complaining about a brother with a knife, and these people are walking around with AR-15s outside of schools just to see if the police are gonna arrest them because they got a right to carry.
And see, let me say something. You're right. They upset now because one, the family's having to move. So now they're saying, oh, they're using the money to buy a house. No, they're just moving to another location, whether they're buying it or renting it, whatever they have to do. They're doing what they have to do to protect their family.
Honestly, I don't care if they were buying a brand new house for all those donations.
Well, no. But let me go down. But what I'm saying is they're having to move because his life is under threat.
That's right.
They're having to spend money on security because his life is under threat. Do y'all see how that white woman in this video just rushed up to him like she has a certain level of authority to approach that young man that way?
Of course she does.
There's going to be so many people coming after this young man. We need to flood that man's coffers with even more. If they mad about 400,000, go to GoFundMe and let's get that brother up to 1 million because he's going to need that much just for security alone from these angry white folk.
They need to move to the southeast to the 7th or 8th ward in DC. And I promise you, that young man have a great life. And them white boys ain't going over there. That's what we need to do. And Marcus, you said you had a message for Black Americans. I got a message for Black American men. Be that dad.
That's right.
Be that dad right there.
That right there.
Yeah, that part.
Let me tell you something, boy. Let me tell you something. God bless that black father right there.
Man,
that's how I want to see all. That's how I would defend my son.
Damn right.
You think I'm gonna abandon you think I'm gonna throw my son out to you wolves? To you devils?
You dire wolves. You extinct species from 13,000 years revoked by science and white supremacy. You dire wolves.
I want to dire wolf.
No. No, Marcus. No, Marcus. No, bro. And we need to do a show on these people spending that much money and that much science on bringing back the species that's been dead for 13,000 years and about to bring back the woolly mammoth. We need to do a species on that, but they can't stop cancer. We need to talk about that, but not right now because what
stop me from getting my dire wolf.
Okay, Marcus, I'm gonna let you know right now. There are 3 of them living. They're gonna make 6 of them. They're in 2,000 acres in some undisclosed location in America, which might be, from what I see, Washington D.C. at the Capitol building or the White House, judging by Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, or his press secretary.
Yeah,
they're gonna dire wolves. Put a chain on either one of them.
We're gonna recreate Game of Thrones, man. I want to dire wolf. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Matter of fact,
see that I don't like.
When it comes down to these animal species and them bringing back these genetic things, look, I do think we do have to have a serious conversation about exactly what you just said, right? Like, unless you make a mini woolly mammoth that's keepable or something like that, so the girls can put them in their purse. I don't think we need to be bringing them back.
Marcus, you tripping, dog? What is wrong with Marcus? Marcus talking about this man talking about making a retail version of the woolly mammoth.
Like a Birkin bag woolly mammoth.
A Birkin bag woolly mammoth. But
it's gonna be made in China.
Hey, in order to be a real Birkin bag, Marcus stole my punchline. I guess you have to have a made in China sticker. Damn. But it also lets me know that we still can throw alley-oops. I appreciate that. Gentlemen, thank y'all for giving me the driver's seat. Y'all need to keep up. Put your skates on, Ben.
Put you back in the middle.
Listen, I want to say,
I went offline to fix my battery.
it look good. Hey, that boy called Postman.
Hey, we can't do that segment. We can't do that. None of these black segments with that beeping going around, man. We appreciate that.
Let me tell y'all a secret. Sometimes Marcus is being light skinned. Sometimes I'm being grouchy old man ass black man, crusty Uncle Will. And sometimes Ben let us do. Sometimes Ben let each one of us do it. Sometimes it's both of us doing it. It don't matter. All the time we're clickbaity political thirst trap.
That's right. That's right.
Ain't shit you can find on Al Gore's internet more black and more political than what you just spent your last 2 hours watching. We are clickbaity political thirst trap. We are the pulse and understanding of our communities. We are unbossed, and not for sale. Oh, unbothered too. I love y'all, man.
Love you more, brother. You too, Marcus. Love you, brothers.
Peace out, y'all.
See y'all next time. Let's hit this music.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Yeah. Trap squad, trap squad, trap
Hey,
squad,
let me hear ya.
trap squad, trap squad,
Throw those squirrels up if you with